Very warm welcome back everybody. Today we're going to make some removable covers for these quite delicately covered chairs, and we're going to go from beige to grey. So let's get straight into the video. And a slight word of warning and a bit of an apology. Some of this footage has taken on rather a green hue, and I'm not quite sure why that happened. Who knows what the GoPro was up to that day. So if you suddenly see it go a bit green, or even black and green, like some of these frames I've had to remove, then please don't fret. It's just the GoPro having a bit of a wobbly. As you lovely long-term subscribers will have noticed, this is exactly the same fabric I've had in the Caravan for the last 2 years. So confession time again, I've had this footage in the can, on the hard disk, however you describe it, for the last couple of years. And it's just now, I'm embarrassed to say, that I've got around to editing it. So you are indeed seeing exactly the slightly linen look, dark grey, that's been inhabiting the Caravan for the last couple of years. But this is how I made the covers themselves. So what I'm doing here is trying to make a sort of box-like cushion. So the underneath, the front roll and the top side of it is one piece, and that's what I'm cutting at the moment. And then the two sides and the back are a separate piece, and there's going to be a zip in that in a minute. But what I'm doing is trying to make these covers slightly waterproof. So, you know, kids and drinks and bowls of cereal and so on in the Caravan are a potential recipe for disaster. You know, they've been so good so far. We haven't had any major spillages, and we do tend to prefer to eat in the awning anyway. But as I had some of this shower-proof fabric left over from when I did the installation in the pop-top roof, I thought I would use up the very last scraps of it and turn it into a lining for the cushion itself. So that's what I'm doing here. I've had to sew a few bits together to make bigger pieces, and then I'm effectively sewing the two bits together so I can handle them like one very fluffy sheet of fabric. So there we are. That is the main side all stitched together, and now it's a matter of just getting all the pieces cut, and then we'll get on to doing the sides in a moment. And I'm going to put some black piping in here to give it a little bit of a hopefully a professional finish, and inset the seam into one of the box edges. So I'll show you how I did that. So I've measured the sides here, and rather than just make the thing up using the measurements, I'm actually going to use the cushion itself as a sort of pattern to help me get the sides as tight as look good, because I could build it to the measurements themselves, but potentially it would be a bit tight or a bit saggy. So I'm just going to make the cushion effectively inside out, but fit it around the edge of the existing foam here. And I'm going to leave the covers on underneath. This is just going to go over the top. There's no point stripping those ones off. And then just pin it on the outside so I get the seams in precisely the correct place, and I get the shape of that edge because I've got a squared rear edge and a rounded front edge where the knees go. So I've cut down strips for the sides here, and I'm going to get them to exactly the right size, and I'm actually going to install the piping onto these sides, and I'm going to install a zip in the side here as well and get that all done first, and then attach the sides to the main bulk of the flat fabric that I made up a minute ago. Well, here we are, the finished cover from the narrower of the two backrests. So let's just try and get this zip undone, and I'll pop it on and show you how it fits. So you can see where I've used the waterproof quilting just to give it a bit of a nicer finish, and to give it a not a fully waterproof lining, but showerproof, so it's reasonably good. And so I've just used that around the larger sides. I haven't used it on the ends because of course the ends touch on the walls of the caravan itself, or on the edge of the wardrobe on the longer side, or right next to the front door on the shorter side. This zip is a little bit tricky. Anyway, let's get this turned around the right way, and then you can see the black piping that's on the edges, and we'll get the cushion in here. Now hopefully this will be nice and easy, because can you see I've laid the zip up most of one of the short sides and all the way along the bottom, so I should just need to slot it over like this, stretch it into place, and fingers crossed. Quite tight, but actually I think that's going to be perfect. Might have got this right first time. Woohoo! Now I know most people use throws, but you know, small wiggly bottoms. I think probably the time spent rearranging and getting throws straight has probably massively outweighed by the time that's gone into this project. So getting these covers nice and tight over the top of these existing cushions here. And of course I've got the original beige underneath. The beige will come off for washing, but I thought I might as well leave it in there. It's not doing any harm. Just give this a bit of a wiggle to smooth out any of the wadding that's stuck underneath. Well, there we go. What do you think? That has turned out better than I expected. Yep, really pleased with that. So let's get these things out into the caravan. So this is future editing me on voiceover mode, and I have to explain there's a bit of footage out of chronological order here. So as part of this little mini-series on updating the soft furnishings, in a couple of videos time there's a little catch-all video that shows a lot of the smaller jobs that I did all put together, and this Velcro was laid as part of that. So I'll give the full explanation for what that was and how it was done then. But as you can see, there were only 3 staples in, and it didn't hold up very well. So this day's job was to pull that Velcro off, get those staples out, get it all cleaned up, and then get it laid down much better. Then you'll see me do it in a couple of videos time. That's going to cause a bit of a chronological anomaly, isn't it? Anyway, let's get these staples out and get this Velcro laid back down properly, so that that white strip of Velcro that I sewed on earlier can clip onto the seat here, and we won't have slidey cushions. So there we go, new ones on the shorter side. Oops, excuse the dangly fairy lights, they need fixing too. And old ones left on the left. Perfectly lovely cushions, but not very child-proof. Now let's head in the house, because I've got another little project to finish this off. And there we go, the finished article. So next week it's on to curtains, and we'll go from the beige interior to the grey black charcoal interior. But for now, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now. See ya.